Hello everyone, good morning. Warm welcome to your decoding series. Today's episode 87 of Decoding the Economic Times newspaper, and how our community has been reporting, how it has been benefiting is that it is making them more knowledgeable investors, more intelligent investors. So it is critical that we women go beyond our fear of numbers, notions that okay, we will not understand this, or this is boring, this is not for us. So our entire community is going beyond these barriers, breaking these barriers for their financial growth. So this is why we are also doing the decoding of the newspapers. Also, we run the courses that we do. So all of this is inside of this intention. If you're here with us, do acknowledge your presence by saying good morning, hi, hello, welcome, happy Friday. Anything you could say in to establish your presence, because we committed that you grow in your life financially. Hey Sonika, good morning. Amazing to have you. Sheetal, hi, good morning. Got that. So my people are all ready to learn and grow. Beena, Natasha. Good morning, people. So today there is a lot of news. Okay, there is so much to look at. Himani, Rinku, good morning. Happy Friday with all those hearts. So today this newspaper, the Economic Times, is full of information. There are so many stories of what's happening, how. So let's take us over. Let's take each other over all this information. So digital currencies. So this is Piyush Gupta, who is CEO of DBS, which took over the Lakshmi Vilas Bank also, and he is saying that it is very unlikely to replace money. So cryptocurrencies replacing money is a very, very unlikely thing according to him. So I'm going to begin today by reading this part, okay, this article, because I have heard a lot of our community members ask that, okay, should we go ahead and invest in cryptocurrencies? It's the hot topic and it's trending, so what should we be doing? So let's look at all this. Gauri Lit, welcome. So digital currencies and tokenization of assets are a reality and may be a dominant factor in the future. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin could replace fiat currency as a medium of exchange. This is said by Piyush Gupta, CEO of DBS. We launched the first bank-sponsored digital exchange in December. So look at it. Banks are building their own digital currency. So that's the future which is coming ahead. If you notice, also Tesla owner, what is his name, guys? The Tesla owner. Anybody remember? The Tesla owner's name, because he mentioned that he will accept digital currency. Okay, so people could buy Tesla, the car, with digital currency. Yes, Elon Musk. So he had said that, and now let's build on top of this that the first bank sponsored digital exchange is already out, launched by DBS. It lets you tokenize assets and securities. So by our action, we are creating capabilities for crypto, digital currencies and tokenization for the future. But Bitcoin as a replacement for money is still challenging. Money is a medium of exchange, a unit of account and a store of value. The world is divided on the future of cryptocurrencies, with regulators like the RBI opposing them as a medium of exchange. while billionaire entrepreneurs like Elon Musk are backing them. So Elon Musk is one guy who's been really backing cryptocurrencies. He's the first guy to say that, okay, I will exchange a Tesla for cryptocurrency. But this is the rarest of the rare things, and we all know Elon Musk, how he's always ahead of the time. And that's how he's built all the businesses from PayPal to Tesla or SpaceX. So this is what is being talked about. Let's read more. There is more on page number 10 around cryptocurrency today. I'm just moving the paper. Hey Prerna, Hira, Gauri, welcome. So again, Piyush Gupta is saying Bitcoin is not a good medium of exchange. Okay, that's what he is stating, even though the Tesla owner Elon Musk said that he is willing to exchange cryptocurrency for Tesla. Okay, he's saying because you can do only 9 transactions per second, while Visa and MasterCard can do hundreds of thousands. So he's talking about the number of transactions. He's looking at them and saying that, okay, as of now, at least that's how I am decoding this information, that as of now doesn't seem like a doable exchange. Okay, it doesn't seem like something which is doable, which is possible as a medium of exchange, because only 9 transactions per second can happen, while for Visa and MasterCard, hundreds of thousands. So it is also difficult to make it a unit of account because it is so volatile. We've all seen it just goes up and down constantly. Right? It is a crazy currency. So he's mentioning that already. He's saying it is also difficult to make it a unit of account because it is so volatile. When the value changes 60% to 70% every 2-3 days, how do you take it as a unit of account? However, as a store of value, it can work. So he is giving it the space of gold. He's saying cryptocurrency could be the gold. Okay, like gold of the past is the cryptocurrency of the future. So that's what he's saying, because like gold, it has no intrinsic value, and collectively humans have decided that yes, it's a good asset to keep, which is gold. And he's saying that cryptocurrency has similar values. So he is maybe another 5 years, I don't know, Sheetal, maybe many years, because we're really talking way into the future. Unless a wave like say a coronavirus crisis or a wave comes which will just change the entire situation. So that's how I see it. Hey Sahil, good to have you. Visa is coming out with a cryptocurrency card. Got that. Yeah, everybody is. DBS has come up with its own cryptocurrency. So yeah, I'm sure each card, each bank will come in with its currency, and then what's the future going to be? We don't know. But yeah, this is what the future is looking like as of now, that we'll be flooded with these cryptocurrencies. Like there are over 5,000 stocks in the market. So there'll be all these cryptocurrencies, and what should we be doing? And like I've been always repeating, regulation is a big question mark. So regulation is something that is not there in the cryptocurrencies, and that keeps me away from this investment as of now. Yeah. Sheetal is sharing the gold of the past could be the cryptocurrency of the future. Yeah. Surabhi, Preeti, good morning. Okay guys, so this is about cryptocurrencies, and yeah, and like I'm saying that, every bank, if it comes up with its own cryptocurrency, I don't know how we are going to manage this. But yeah, that's how the future is looking, because nobody would want to miss the opportunity. Nobody would want to miss having a cryptocurrency. It seems like that to me. Okay. Another news, the second and the last news for today that we're going to decode is how the mutual funds are trimming their holdings in blue chip companies. So we all know that people have been taking money out of mutual funds. So the net outflows have been high. And because of that, the mutual fund houses, so these schemes, they've been majorly selling blue chip stocks. So let's read through this and understand the market situation and also the mutual fund industry. So mutual funds continue to trim their holdings in various blue chip stocks in February as continued redemption pressures prompted money managers to offload liquid stocks. So they're saying that these are liquid stocks. So that's how. Hey Bindu, thanks for sending the stars. Loads of love. Edelweiss Alternative Research said in a note that mutual funds sold 2,800 worth of shares of Bharti Airtel. 2,800 crores worth of shares of Bharti Airtel were sold. 1,700 crore worth of HDFC Bank was sold. 1,500 crore worth of Reliance Industries and offloaded 1,400 crores worth of HDFC shares. If you notice, these are all very, very high liquid shares. Very high liquid. So there's so much liquidity in these shares that it's crazy. You can buy and sell at any point. Funds bought shares of NTPC and IndusInd Bank to the tune of 700 crore each. So L&T and NTPC were bought. While in L&T, there were buyers worth 650 crores during the month. So this is all the information for February on what happened in the mutual fund houses on which stock. So if you look at L&T, NTPC, IndusInd Bank, here the mutual fund houses were buyers. While in HDFC Bank, Reliance Industries and Bharti Airtel, these were the four in which they were selling. So that's the situation. So in last few months, mutual funds are selling heavyweights because of net outflows in equity mutual fund schemes, and heavyweights are easier to trim because of liquidity. That is what a senior manager in Edelweiss is sharing. So that's about it. Okay, guys. Although SIP flow is still positive, okay, SIP's money is coming into the mutual funds, but retail investors are not coming in as big a way as earlier through the SIP's route, and with markets at all-time highs, they are booking profits in lump sum portfolio, which is resulting in outflows from mutual funds. So people are booking the money out. We all know market is at its record high. So people might be scared that they will lose whatever returns they've generated. So they are taking the money out now. That is what is happening. Mutual funds say large mutual funds are underweight banking and overweight capital goods compared to weightages. Within mid-cap stocks, mutual funds added SAIL, IRCTC, Jindal Steel. And in small caps, they picked up shares of PVR and bought into Retail Tel IPO. So you look at it, because mid caps and small caps are going to be the future. So there is no selling happening there. The selling primarily is happening in large cap blue chip stocks. So guys, this is what is happening right now. This is what happened in Feb in mutual funds. What the future is going to be, nobody knows. But yeah, it seems likely that it is further time for mid cap and small caps. Any concerns, any questions? Go for it. Okay, Sheetal, what did you not understand? Please type that in. I am happy to support each one here. Himani, please start typing. What did you not get, so that I can explain and you guys can then use that information. Yes, Sheetal, there is liquidity in big companies, large cap stocks, also called blue chip stocks, and that's why these were sold. And because these were sold, money was generated for people to take their money out, because the net outflows from the mutual funds are high. Surabhi, should we invest in cryptocurrency? Prerna, why is this happening? This is happening because market is at its record high. People want to take their money out. People might be scared. Investors might be scared. They might be just taking their lump sum money out, and over time they will come back investing as SIPs. So that's what. Very few people are long-term investors in this market who have the patience to see through all the ups and downs and just sustain themselves. Well, that is the smartest way of investing, because you just can't be booking profit all the time and taking money out, bringing money in. मतलब सिर्फ यही so नहीं है. Okay, Hira, I think my internet is doing fine. At least that's what it is telling me. Hira's question is, who will then bring in the regulations? Government, market, or both? Yes, it will be the industry bodies with the government all coming together. That's how it's going to be. Yeah, everybody coming in together to bring in regulations, because otherwise, without the regulation, what's the point of investing? It's like, it's like the chit fund. Whatever happens, it just happens because there's no regulation to it. So that's the key. I'm somebody who stays away from all this speculation. These are all speculative. I don't even know if I want to call it investment. Okay. What does the selling of heavyweight stocks from the mutual funds mean to an individual investor? An individual investor can see, Bindu, that okay, money has gone out. That's what it means, that money has gone out of the equity stock market. People who had invested over time, they've taken their lump sum money out because the market is at its record high. It could be that they are scared. They are not sure if the market is going to go up any further. They might be, they might be suspecting that the market will come down and then they will re-enter at lower prices. So people just keep selling and then sustaining their money in debt funds, liquid funds, and then waiting for timing the market. All that people just keep doing. And I don't know, at Women on Wealth, us investors need to do so much work. I really don't think so. I believe in the autopilot way of doing things. So once we are there, once we are with good companies, good mutual funds, let's just sustain our investments. Gauri, should we invest in equity blue chips now? Go for it. What stops you, Gauri? You're already learning in the Money Gym program how to pick good equity mutual funds. You will learn how to pick good equity stocks. Just go for it. Just keep investing. Don't try and time this market. People will try to time this market, and your learning could be that nobody ever has managed to time this market. So the best way for one market cycle, first 7 years, is just to keep investing month on month and keep going. That's the way forward. Sheetal is sharing, as a Women on Wealth investor, we keep doing what we are doing as per our financial plan. Absolutely. Got that. Rinku, there is a news on debt funds. Yes, there is. What does that mean? Okay, though we are really losing time, but I will quickly look up what the article is. I think it was in page 1, if I'm not wrong. Rinku, is it the same story that you're talking, which is on page 1? I like what Sheetal is typing. She's saying we can either continue with our financial plan or sell if you're tempted by the market. What is the third option, right? Got that, Rinku. Okay. Debt mutual fund investors may head for losses, is what it is saying, after the new SEBI directive shows up. So this is what it is mentioning. Investors in debt mutual funds holding perpetual bonds are staring at losses, with the new valuation norm for the instrument expected to spark a sell-off. So SEBI is introducing a new valuation norm, and because of which there is a speculation that there will be a sharp sell-off after that valuation norm shows up, and it will lead to losses for the debt mutual funds. I like Rinku's question that okay, should we just look at this, because often there is this notion in investors that debt mutual funds are safe, and they're not. And this is what happens. SEBI will keep bringing in measures to regularize more, to have individual investors be to benefit the individual investors. So that's the key, guys. You need to notice that even people lose in debt funds, and this is what happened in those 6 Franklin funds, if you remember. Money managers said accelerated redemptions in debt schemes. So yeah, people are going to redeem their money, and this could trigger a crisis as mutual funds will be forced to dump such securities, causing yields to spike and making it costlier for banks to borrow funds. This is what happened in the lockdown period, that the government introduced norms which could actually make it easy for companies to borrow funds at a low interest rate. Now when this is introduced, the new valuation norm is introduced, they are saying that the retail investors are going to take their money out. Now if retail investors are redeeming, the mutual fund houses will have to sell those bonds. If the mutual fund houses are selling those bonds, it will make it costlier for companies to borrow money. Okay, and that's going to hit, it's going to hit the yield market. That's what it is saying. It's more like creating some kind of panic is how I see it. I don't know. It is more like creation of panic, and do we really need so much panic in our lives? I think we need to be more calm and seeing through. And why we even in debt funds? Like, why are we choosing debt funds? And I know in our community, nobody right now is nearing any goal. So there is no point for anybody to choose a debt fund in their financial plan. And I quite like what Sheetal, our community leader, has been sharing, that are we going to follow our financial plan, or are we going to just fall for all the instruments which are around and investing in them? There is really no need for that. As of now, we none of our investors really are into debt funds, or they need to be in debt funds, because I know all of you so personally. You've shared your Money Gym worksheets with me, so really I don't see a point to them right now. Stay put through this phase. We have a long way to go. Absolutely, Bindu. I love that perspective, because we really have a very, very long way to go as investors in this community. And this community has come 10 years long, and we are going to further persist. And next 10 years, let's bring a boom in financial education for all the women here. On this note, guys, I am closing the live. Thank you so much for showing up, investing in yourself and educating yourself. That's the key. That's what is going to move you forward to your financial success. If you're benefiting from the lives, you're benefiting from the work that we do, please invite your friends and family. For the next course we are bringing in, the next Money Gym course, group coaching, is beginning on March 27th. We give video recordings before that, the worksheets before that, so that people can look up the video recordings and the worksheets and come prepared in the group coaching for implementation. So if you have people in your life, I highly recommend that you bring them in and cause this financial transformation in their lives. Yes, absolutely. Let us share this video, spread the word, talk actively about the work, guys, because it's only us who are going to help other women get on the right path with their finances. Thanks, Prerna, for sharing. And guys, go ahead and share this work, because without your support, we're not going to make it to 50 lakh women by 2030. Loads of love. Take charge. Stay safe. Bye-bye.